Hello and welcome back to BannerKings, and I am extremely excited because we have a bit of a problem. Yeah, I'm not excited in a good way, kind of, I don't know, it very much depends, because we now have Rajaya, who is deciding to knock on our door. And I'm not really sure what kind of door it is. I don't know whether she's coming up to say, you know, any kind of knock-knock joke or something like that. But it's more than likely that she's not willing to do that. She's probably just going to try to murder us. So I have to be extremely careful about this particular army. However, maybe I don't, because if you take a look at her composition, just from here, obviously the most annoying. Well, this is actually what's really funny. Bannerlord has a couple of problems, as you might expect. Quite a few games have problems that are not really addressed, and this is one of them. This particular menu right here, when I actually press on my Alt key here, when I hold down the Alt key, you know what happens? It shows me every single unit that she has available in her army. But the problem with this is that it doesn't show me the full list. And so I can't see what else she has. But from what I can tell from this readout here, which is obviously just having the, you know, brief overview of what kinds of units she has, we don't really need to worry too much, because she primarily has infantry, and obviously, as we know, the Empire factions, I'm just going to call them the Empire factions right now, you know, the Imperial factions, they're the ones that actually don't really have any super strong infantry to speak of. They're noble units, level into cavalry, and they are not infantry. So, following that line of reasoning, and following that logic, we shouldn't have to worry too much about her. The only thing we have to worry about is the fact that she has a huge amount. That's the biggest problem here. And she wants to besiege us almost immediately. She wants to besiege this castle right here, which is obviously going to fall very, very fast. So that's a problem, isn't it? Yeah, that's a problem. And we also have a problem here as well. I'm going to be helping Vincantios, as you can see. Whoa, this is actually not looking particularly good for him. Look at this. I am basically helping him with the castle at the same exact time. And this is bad. This is actually really, really bad for us. Not a big fan of this, I gotta say. Not a big fan at all. But what can I do? There isn't really much that I can do about this, except just go for it and see what happens. Because the thing is, if we don't, he's gonna lose. It's very clear that he would lose, because he's currently in the castle. These guys are coming up from behind him. They know what to do from behind. They're going to be extremely deep into him, and it's going to be extremely, well, it's probably going to be pretty satisfying for them, but maybe, I don't know, it very much depends on how much, you know, how much advance warning he has, because otherwise they can turn around. Maybe they can, you know, make things a little bit less abrupt, and they can get prepared, they can try to defend, they can try to receive this guy's forces just that much better. Maybe they can make it a little bit more, you know, have a little bit more strategy involved. Someone actually asked about the formations that we have available here. Okay, so formations. What do we have? Well, we got shield wall and we got line. Obviously, as you can see right here, as you can see, we got like shortcuts that we can basically just put them in if we want to. And then we otherwise have these, which are just the regular formations, as you can see. However, I think the main thing that we have to take away from this menu, and I'm just going to put on auto delegate again because my forces always seem to do an absolutely fantastic job with that. I think the main thing we have to take away from the fact that we have RBM is that the AI is actually really good at what they do, and I'm always extremely surprised at how good they actually are in auto delegate. Because if you told me, you know, how much better it becomes, then I wouldn't have believed it, you know. I mean, maybe I would have. I don't know, maybe I would have. It very much depends. I don't know. Maybe I would have, but as you can see, look at this. We've already... What? How did I take 70 damage? Are you serious? How did I take 70 damage from that? Okay, well, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? That is a huge problem situation for me right now. Okay, well... Anyway, to get back on topic, basically, the main reason why we're actually winning most of these battles... Obviously, in the previous episode, we had a bit of a mixed bag. Because obviously we did have a situation where I actually did have to retreat. Just because. We just couldn't win. We just couldn't win. The enemy had too many high-level troops. And that's obviously mostly what it comes down to at the end of the day. Unless they make massive strategical errors. And obviously, you know, some of the time that doesn't really happen. But as you can see here, this guy doesn't really have anything super dangerous. So we shouldn't have to worry too much about this, but I do have to be a little bit careful myself. I obviously do not want to get myself in a situation where I'm just gonna actually die in a bad way. I would prefer not to, thank you very much. But yeah, we've got to be a little bit careful here. Just a little bit. So yeah, anyway, as I was saying, basically RBM makes it so that your AI, and indeed the enemy's AI, I'm not sure how much it tweaks it, but all I know is that the auto-delegate AI is so much better. It feels so much better, at least. And I don't think that is the base game doing that. Because I've had many times in the past where I have, you know, had my allies forced into going into auto-delegate because, let's face it, sometimes I get myself killed. You know, let's face it, you know, it's me, you know. I do tend to get myself killed quite a lot because I rush in randomly. I like to have fun, you know. I don't like to stay back. Random things happen. I get shot in the face, you know. Obviously, I haven't played with RBM before this series for an extended, you know, amount of time, so you know, it's a new experience for me. But the thing is that we have to realize here is that is the entire reason why we're actually having good success with auto-delegate, because without that, I would get eliminated, and then the base game AI would take over. And all I can tell you about that, and obviously you probably know this too, is that the base game AI is just frankly terrible. They're very poor. They don't know when to charge in. They fail to take the initiative. They basically they kind of give me reminiscence of shall we say defenseless child, pretty much. That's kind of what it gives when the base game takes over with auto-delegate. But when you have RBM, it doesn't do that. And obviously you don't have to play with the combat module, by the way, so if you don't like the way that the damage is calculated anymore, let's say that you don't like the armor system and you don't like the way that slashing weapons basically do very little damage unless you hit a particular point of an enemy, which I actually quite like now, but maybe that's just me, I don't know. I mean, maybe I wouldn't like it if I was using a slashing weapon, but I'm actually not, of course. So I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't like it now, but who knows. Anyway, you can just disable that module and you can just use the AI module instead. And obviously that is the thing that I'm talking about mostly here. I'm talking about the AI module and how it actually increases the you know, the way that our NPC friends actually react and what they do in battles. And it makes a huge difference. It really does. And I'm actually astounded, you know, and that's the funny thing. I think someone actually mentioned, there was a comment a while ago. As you can see right here, look at my forces. They're actually retreating. They're not actually retreating though. That's the funny thing. They're not retreating. They're just kind of like pulling back a little bit. They're just pulling back. And then what they're going to do is they're going to charge back in when they sense that they have the advantage once more. And I feel like that is ingenious. Which brings me to the comment that I was going to talk about just now. Apologies, ADHD things going on. Thank you very much. Yes. I do generally tend to just randomly go off on all kinds of different tangents because I have a lot of different thoughts at the same time, and it just, Anyway, the point is, the comment was from someone that basically said that the creator of RBM did as much as they could. They did as much as they could with, the current code that is available publicly for modification, and they even went as far as to mail Tailwelts and actually ask them for greater access to the code, so that they could make more changes. They could make more in-depth changes to the AI and to make them even smarter than they are right now. I mean, you can see here that my guys are actually doing this. They're actually retreating, but not in a way that you would think, oh yeah, we're going to be defeated. No. This is not a defeat. This is not them defeating. This is not them retreating from some kind of defeat. No. That is not what's going on here. They're retreating because they want to receive reinforcements. And this is the wonderful thing about actually having them on auto delegate. Obviously, maybe it's not that. I don't know. Is it boring? Is it annoying for you to see that it's on auto delegate? I mean, you can let me know whether it is, but from my perspective, it just means that I can concentrate on fighting, and I can concentrate on commentating a little bit and talking about various subjects that I feel are kind of interesting, at least to me, and it means that I don't have to individually run all the way back here if I want to do this kind of strategy, because obviously you see exactly what's happening. Our guys are coming all the way back here, and then look at our other guys. Look at our other guys that have just come in, our reinforcements. They're moving forward now as well, and our cavalry is all the way back here too. And so what's going to happen is these guys are going to be rounding themselves up, and then they're going to get prepared for one final push, while the enemy also does a similar thing. As you can see, we're drawing the enemy in. You see here, the enemy has to run all the way over here, and if there was an energy system or a stamina system or something like that in the game, obviously there isn't, but if there was, then these guys, I mean, I'm talking about Total War style here, kind of, I guess, but let's just say that, let's just say there was, for the sake of argument here, then the enemy's forces would actually be pretty tired, and they'd be facing some fresh reinforcements of ours. And you can see here, look at exactly what's happening now. These guys are just getting absolutely slaughtered now, because my forces are now fighting as one, they have received reinforcements, and we are actually good. And now we are much closer to our reinforcement zone. Obviously, from a player perspective, I feel like this actually makes a lot of sense, because you could see here, look at how many units we've eliminated so far. We've killed 400, which is a lot. However, I don't think that is enough to actually win, and I think the smartness, the intelligence, if I could use a better word to describe it, the intelligence of the AI has determined that it actually would have lost a lot of units, because that's usually what tends to happen if you're a player that tends to, manually tell your forces what to do. And look at these guys; they're now retreating. You see, and this is actually the entire reason why having some cavalry is really, really good, because then you can obviously chase these guys down if you want to, and so on and so forth. How are my cavalry doing? Oh yeah, I barely have any. That's the reason why we're having so many issues here. But the point is, if we had stayed in that area, you can best bet we would have actually lost that entire infantry wave. I'm pretty sure. I've played enough of Bannerlord, and indeed even Warband, to know that in those situations, you're probably going to end up losing quite a few of those infantry troops. And to stop them from being lost, the AI determined that it was a good idea to run away and reinforce themselves, and then come back And this is exactly kind of what's happening here with the enemy now. They're kind of doing a similar thing, but this is obviously a pretty large battle, bear that in mind. It is a large battle, it's not something that you can win in, you know, a few minutes. You're going to have to spend a little bit longer dealing with these guys. And that's actually kind of cool to me. I actually think that's pretty nice. It makes a huge difference to the overall, shall we say, involvement and the dynamicism of the fight, because it's literally not just a big slog to, you know, see who can kill as many of the enemy's forces as possible. It is a lot more, you know, strategy, tactical focused, and it just really makes a big difference, in my opinion, to the satisfaction level that we're currently now seeing, because you could see exactly what's happening here. I mean, obviously we are going to achieve victory. There is very little question about that. However, after this particular battle, we're going to have to be pretty careful of Rajaya, of course. And there's also something else that we, that I, you know, specifically haven't mentioned, and that is the fact that we currently don't have. How do I? Oh, nice. Whoa. Okay. I'm gonna die here, by the way, just so you know. I am gonna die. There's no way I can defend against 4 guys. Okay, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to try out my dagger real fast, and it did 183 damage with a piercing attack. I think that's pretty nice. I like that. But yeah, anyway, as I was about to say, I think one thing that I've missed here is the fact that the enemy still has morale. They still have morale to fight, which basically means that we haven't done a very good job of eliminating their leaders. I think that was one of the main things that I feel like I failed on here. There must be one leader still alive. I actually wonder whether that is indeed the case. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, all of the infantry basically just got eliminated because they did not retreat this time around, but we've got a full, fresh reinforcement wave coming in here. Hopefully you can see exactly what's going on, you know, in the background a little bit while I look at this, because I just want to see if there are any lords alive. Because no, there aren't. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so that must mean that the morale of the enemy is extremely high. And I'm actually very surprised about that. But yeah, as you can see, look at this. The enemy has caught up dramatically. Look at that. They've killed 430 of us, and we've killed 800 plus of them. So basically, we've killed double the amount, and we've won. But we did end up losing 50% of our people. And I'm not talking about my own people, of course. I'm talking about, you know, generally in the army. And our allies and all that wonderful stuff. But yeah, that is actually kind of incredible. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I would probably recommend just checking out RBM, just literally for the AI. If you don't like the way that it calculates damage like I used to, I didn't really like that in the past. I was actually someone that was very anti-RBM. I'm going to say that. I'm going to be honest about that, because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I always thought that RBM was amazing. No, I didn't. I actually thought it was something that made the game unnecessarily more difficult, just for the sake of it. But that's actually not the case. Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. It does make things more difficult for certain weapon types, and, you know, it does make throwing weapons kind of meh, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't really like that specifically, but that's just because I personally really enjoy, I'm going to take these caravan guards, by the way, just because they're mounted. I personally really enjoy playing with thrown weapons, and I love doing, you know, 200 damage headshots with those things, maybe even more than that. I really enjoy having a massive javelin in my hands, unleashing it upon an opponent in the distance, and seeing their body fly across the battlefield because of the wonderful, ridiculous ragdoll effects. You know, I love that. I think that's super enjoyable and really, really fun. But obviously that's not... that doesn't happen with RBM. But that doesn't matter, because you, as I say, you can always disable the combat module if you don't like that, and you can just play with the AI version of it. You can even install it separately as far as I'm aware, I think. I think you can just install the AI version of RBM, and I would probably recommend it at this point, because that is a thing that doesn't change anything. It just makes the AI better in, well, from what I can tell, in every single respect. I think it makes their combat ability better, which for me is quite a challenge, actually, for me. You know, I'm not exactly great at combat in general. Sometimes I'm okay, but, you know, most of the time it may give me a little bit of pause for thought here. And otherwise, there's still 114 defenders in the castle. That's very bad. Okay, we're going to have to go in there. I'm at 30% HP. Not a big fan of that either, but oh well, never mind. Okay, so let's have a look here. So we got Phalanx, plus 30 melee weapon skills to troops in your party while in shield wall formation, and plus 3% damage with polearms by troops in your formation. This is obviously fantastic for us specifically, mostly because we are the captain of the infantry as far as I'm aware. Are we? I think we are the captain of the infantry. And in general, most of my people are actually using polearms. If you can believe it. They are actually using polearms. And I don't think they're playing in shield wall formation for the most part. I don't think they are, but they are playing very defensively. However, we could also go for standard bearer, minus 20% battle morale loss to troops in your formation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like personally, Phalanx is probably going to be the way to go, because battle morale, I think that's kind of a niche thing to take. I don't think that is actually going to be anything super important. Whereas if we can do more damage and we can give our troops more skills, then it may not even be necessary to need to reduce their battle morale loss. I guess it is going to be very good in general, but I'm going to take Phalanx for the moment, and we're going to see how that works. Let me actually just see here real fast. There is something that I wanted to take a look at here. I wanted to look at... there was a perk that I wanted to look at. I'm not sure where it is. I really wish that... This is one of those things, actually. This is one of those things that I really wish was available, and I don't know why it's not available in general. But basically, I want a search function, okay? I literally want a search function in the perk trees, because being able to search for a perk that you know the name of, but you just don't know where it is, would be absolutely fantastic. That is something that I feel would be really good, but unfortunately I can't find it for the life of me. Yeah, that's killing me now. That is absolutely killing me now. I don't know where it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that somewhere else. I don't know. I actually don't know where it is. Okay, never mind. I'll do that at another time. But yeah, anyway, we're going to have to actually go in here and help this guy to actually take this. They don't even have walls. Look at that. This is going to be super easy. If Roger doesn't come over here, that is. She's obviously going to be trying to take that castle. I would very much appreciate it if you could just lead. Can you just go in? Can you just go in, sir? Oh, of course he's not going to now, is he? Oh, why is he such an imbecile? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't be able to tell you why he's being such an imbecile right now. Okay, what I actually do want to do, though, is I want to try to... Oh, I can't do that while I'm in a siege. Yeah, this is a bit of a problem. I need to declare peace with Regia, because I do not want to lose that castle. That is a really pretty nice strategic castle location there. It's right next to Amitatis. I don't really want to lose that if at all possible, especially to a new faction. So it would be wonderful if we could maybe prevent that from happening. That's kind of why I was hoping to get this done really fast. And then... is he waiting until all of his troops recover? Because just look at how many they have, sir. They do not have anything. They only have 119. What is he doing? Ah, there we go. Okay, finally. Yes, so thankfully We shouldn't have to worry too much about this, and I can actually try out my dagger a little bit more. I actually feel like the dagger is looking super fun. Very surprisingly so. Obviously, I'm never going to use a one-handed on horseback, or at the very least, I probably shouldn't, you know, all things considered. But this is going to be an amazing dueling weapon, or hopefully going to be amazing at dueling. I don't know whether it will. Oh no, please don't get killed. Please don't get killed now. Come on now. Yes, there we are. Okay, fantastic. Oh, let's harass the archers. There we go. That seems like a fun idea. Oh yeah, these guys have no idea what's going on. Where are you going? Are you going to the bakery? I'll come with you. I don't mind. I don't mind going to the bakery. It sounds pretty fun. No, they don't seem to be doing that. They're actually going onto the walls. Well, that's not really going to help you too much, sir. Oh, ho, ho. That was amazing. All right, let's do some damage. I've got my dagger. Hey, come back here. Come back here as I trip on some wood. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, well, I'm not taking this particularly seriously because I'm pretty sure I will be okay. Nice little thrust. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. Am I being shot in the back, by the way? No. Nice. Yeah, so I did pose the question in the previous episode. I said, is a dagger gonna actually be any good at thrusting? And it does appear as though it is actually pretty decent. I'm gonna jump down onto this wall here, and we're gonna have to go up the stairs this way. And then, ooh, there's quite a few. Okay, I've got to be a little bit careful about this. Got a shield. Never mind. Okay, I thought he was actually targeting me, but he wasn't. Wow, I can't believe this guy actually beat me off the bat. Did you see that? Wow, that's pretty crazy. Oh no, I'm not very good at aiming this thing yet. This shield is insane. Did you see that? He literally got a hit on that, a pretty decent, strong hit, and it did nothing. You could just hear the shield. You could just hear the shield laughing in the distance, being like, "Aha, look at me. I am the strongest shield in the game." Because someone actually told me that, so thank you. But that's pretty crazy, if I do say so myself. I certainly wasn't expecting to get, you know, I mean, it is a pretty small shield, which is the one thing that I'm not that big a fan of. But obviously there is no shield skill in this game. Warband used to have a shield skill, and that did increase your overall shield cover, which obviously made everything so much easier. Because if you took a smaller shield, then you'd eventually, if you actually spec'd into shields, you would eventually have a pretty large one. And we're talking about shields, of course, not anything else. Anyway, 1 damage with thrown weapons. This is kind of the reason why I'm not a big fan of... yeah, this is one of those times where the RBM combat module kind of annoys me, but that's... I'll take it, you know, I'll take it for the sake of me being actually kind of resilient to a lot of other bits of damage, because it works the same way for me as it does for the opponent. So if they hit me in a weak spot, I'm going to die instantly, and if I hit them in a weak spot, they're going to die. And or use piercing damage or blunt damage or something along those lines. And I think it's pretty cool, as I say. I think that I like that a lot more than I used to. And I'm not sure, maybe, I don't know, maybe I've changed with time. I don't know, because obviously slashing weapons, let me actually try slashing against this guy and see how much damage I do to him. Obviously he's not particularly heavily armored. 25, 17, yeah, I mean, it's not particularly bad. Considering, I mean, I could have done over 100 damage with a piercing attack. But it's still decent enough, considering I am using a dagger, of course. You know, I think a larger weapon, like a two-handed or something like that, probably would have done more damage. I mean, it obviously would have done more damage, but still, you know, it's you know, still an interesting thing to try out. Anyway, now we can see whether we can actually make peace with the Southern Empire. I think it would be absolutely fantastic if we could have that be a thing. Can we propose a diplomatic action? Are they actually gonna... Wow, everyone says no. Our kingdom will pay 7th... Are you serious? Why would we pay 7,000? Why would we pay 7,000? I don't actually understand that. All right, well, how much does he like me? Okay, he likes me quite a bit. Okay, I'm just going to literally just do this then, I guess. Yeah, that is actually really strange. I guess they don't care about the castle, right? I guess they don't care about the castle. I should probably go to Poros and take that, shouldn't I? Someone actually said that in the comments. I should go and take that. Because that obviously is really, really close to Zionica. Unfortunately, Zionica is not my town, by the way. I just wanted to remind you about that. Kuyaz is actually my town. So if we were at war against these guys, for example, the Kanik faction, if we were at war against them, I could probably get a pretty decent, pretty decent claim on that, because they do generally, and by they I mean the AI. The AI does generally tend to give fiefs that you're close to, or that your fiefs are close to, so that you have a much easier time of ruling over them, I guess you could kind of call it. Anyway, this is going to get taken really, really easily. There's nothing I can really do about that. Is it going to get taken though? That's the question. I don't know. She's taking a lot of damage. As I said to you, she does have some pretty low level units, and most of them are indeed infantry. So maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's okay. I'm just going to do a little bit of that just to schmooze this guy somewhat, just to get his relation up to 100. Most people are actually liking us quite a bit now, so I don't think we really need to worry too much. Which is kind of cool. I think that's quite nice. And one thing we're going to need to... Oh, peace offer? Oh, from the northern. Okay, sure. Fine. Okay, let's do it. No tribute will be paid. Are you serious? Are you joking? No tribute at all? Oh, everyone wants to make peace. That is so weird. I guess it's because we are basically the exact same in regards to strength. But do you not see all of these prisoners? Look at Garios. We have 19 of their prisoners. Isn't that how this works? I thought we had 19 of their prisoners. Okay, well, I guess I will just... I'm just going to spend 150, just gain some more charm skill, I guess. There's no downside to doing that. I don't feel right about doing that, to be honest. I feel like that's a huge waste. But if they want to do it, I can't stop them, right? I can't stop them. They just have to go ahead and do it, and then I guess we'll see what happens later on. But anyway, we have a huge amount of cash incoming relatively soon, because I actually literally just purchased, well, not purchased, I looted a huge amount of, well, everything. And we're going to sell it. Let's see how much we're going to get. 275,000 from the armor. Let's sell this. 336,000 now, including the ranged stuff and the shields. And let's see how much we gain with the weapons. Not that much. So 390,000 is the total. So we now have almost 3 million. I was going to say 4 million. But no, there we go. Yep, pretty nice, pretty nice. Anyway, that is indeed going to be it for this episode. We're going to probably try and attack Poros in the next one. Maybe. We'll see what happens, obviously, with Regea, because obviously she's right here. We may, in fact, be able to take her on if she ends up losing quite a few more troops, because you can see here that, funnily enough, there is one wall down, as you can see from the sprite on the world map. But she's still having huge issues. She's lost quite a few troops in comparison to the defenders. So maybe she's going to have more issues than we think. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.